The Author to Her Book by Anne Bradstreet. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Drake. Thou ill-formed offspring of my feeble brain, who after birth didst in my side remain, till snatched from thence by friends, less wise than true, who thee abroad exposed to public view, made thee in rags halting to the press to trudge, when errors were not lessened, all may judge. At thy return my blushing was not small, my rambling brat in print should mother call. Thy visage was so irksome in my sight, yet being mine own at length affection would thy blemishes amend, if so I could. I washed thy face, but more defects I saw, and rubbing off a spot, still made a flaw. I stretched thy joints to make thee even feet, yet still thou run'st more hobbling than is meet. In better dress to trim thee was my mind, but none save homespun cloth in the house I find. In this array 'mongst vulgars mayst thou roam, in critics' hands beware thou dost not come, and take thy way where yet thou art not known. If for thy father asked, say thou hast none, and for thy mother, she alas is poor, which caused her thus to send thee out the door. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
How do you find this book? Any thoughts about the book or the author? Any suggestion for improvement? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in a comment. If you like it, share it with your friends who might enjoy it as well. Subscribe to keep in touch. Visit CompleteAudiobooks.com for more quality content.
A Friend's Greeting by Edgar A. Read for LibriVox.org by Robin Cotter, Toronto, Ontario, September 2006. I'd like to be the sort of friend that you have been to me. I'd like to be the help that you've been always glad to be. I'd like to mean as much to you each minute of the day as you have meant, old friend of mine, to me along the way. I'd like to do the big things and the splendid things for you, to brush the gray from out your skies and leave them only blue. I'd like to say the kindly things that I so oft have heard, and feel that I could rouse your soul the way that mine you've stirred. I'd like to give you back the joy that you have given me, yet that we're wishing you a need I hope will never be. I'd like to make you feel as rich as I who travel on, undaunted in the darkest hours, with you to lean upon. I'm wishing at this Christmas time that I could but repay a portion of the gladness that you've strewn along my way. And could I have one wish this year, this only would it be, I'd like to be the sort of friend that you have been to me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Her Reply by Sir Walter Raleigh. Read for LibriVox.org by Kristen Hughes. If all the world in love were young, and truth in every shepherd's tongue, these pretty pleasures might me move to live with thee and be thy love. But time drives flocks from field to fold, when rivers rage and rocks grow cold, and Philomel becometh dumb, the rest complains of cares to come. The flowers do fade, and wanton fields to wayward winter reckoning yields. A honey tongue, a heart of gall, is fancy's spring, but sorrow's fall. Thy gowns, thy shoes, thy beds of roses, thy cap, thy kirtle, and thy posies, soon break, soon wither, soon forgotten, in folly ripe, in reason rotten. Thy belt of straw and ivy buds, thy coral clasps and amber studs, all these in me no means can move to come to thee and be thy love. But could youth last, and love still breed, had joys no date nor age no need, then these delights my mind might move, to live with thee and be thy love. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In Neglect by Robert Frost. Read for LibriVox.org by The Bookworm. They leave us so to the way we took, as two in whom they were proved mistaken, that we sit sometimes in the wayside nook, with mischievous, vagrant, seraphic look, and try if we cannot feel forsaken. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Lost Sheep by Elizabeth Clephane. Read for LibriVox.org by Esther. The 99. There were 99 that safely lay in the shelter of the fold, but one was out on the hills away, far off from the gates of gold, away on the mountains wild and bare, away from the tender shepherd's care. Lord, thou hast here thy 99, are they not enough for thee? But the shepherd made answer, 'Tis of mine has wandered away from me, and although the road be rough and steep, I go to the desert to find my sheep. But none of the ransomed ever knew how deep were the waters crossed, nor how dark was the night that the Lord passed through, ere he found his sheep that was lost. Out in the desert he heard its cry, sick and helpless and ready to die. Lord, whence are those blood drops all the way that mark out the mountain track? They were shed for the one who had gone astray, ere the shepherd could bring him back. Lord, whence are thy hands so rent and torn? They are pierced to-night by many a thorn. But all through the mountains thunder riven, and up from the rocky steep there rose a cry to the gate of heaven, Rejoice, I have found my sheep. And the angels echoed around the throne, Rejoice, for the Lord brings back his own. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love 3 by George Herbert. Read for LibriVox.org by J. A. Carter on January 1st, 2007. Love bade me welcome, yet my soul drew back, guilty of dust and sin. But quick-eyed love, observing me grow slack from my first entrance in, drew nearer to me, sweetly questioning if I lacked anything. A guest, I answered, worthy to be here. Love said, You shall be he. I, the unkind, ungrateful, ah, my dear, I cannot look on thee. Love took my hand, and smiling did reply, Who made the eyes but I? Truth, Lord, but I have marred them. Let my shame go where it doth deserve. And know you not, says Love, who bore the blame? My dear, then I will serve. You must sit down, says Love, and taste my meat. So I did sit and eat. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love's Horoscope by Richard Crashaw. Read for LibriVox.org by Curtis Klein on January 1st, 2007. Visit the reader's website at fakeit.dinedns.org. Love, brave virtue's younger brother, erst hath made my heart a mother. She consults the conscious spheres to calculate her young son's years. She asks if sad or saving powers gave omen to his infant hours. She asks each star that then stood by if poor love shall live or die. Ah, my heart, is that the way? Are these thy beams that rule thy day? Thou know'st a face in whose each look beauty lays ope love's fortune book, on whose fair revolutions wait the obsequious motions of love's fate. Ah, my heart, her eyes and she have taught thee new astrology, how ere love's native hours were set, what every starry synod met. 'Tis in the mercy of her eye, if poor love shall live or die. If those sharp rays putting on points of death bid love begone, though the heavens in council state, the crown an uncontrolled fate, though their best aspects twinned upon, the kindest constellation cast amorous glances on his birth, and whispered the confederate earth, to pave his paths with all the good that warms the bed of youth and blood. Love has no plea against her eye, beauty frowns, and love must die. But if her milder influence move, and gild the hopes of humble love, though heaven's inauspicious eye lay black on love's nativity, though every diamond in Jove's crown fixed his forehead to a frown, her eye a strong appeal can give, beauty smiles, and love shall live. If love shall live, oh where, but in her eye or in her ear, in her breast or in her breath, shall I hide poor love from death? For in the life aught else can give, love shall die, although he live. Or if love shall die, oh where, but in her eye or in her ear, in her breath or in her breast, shall I build his funeral nest? While love shall thus entombed lie, love shall live, although he die. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Mother Mind by Julia Ward Howe. Read for LibriVox.org by Corrie Samuel in December 2006. I never made a poem, dear friend. I never sat me down and said, this cunning brain and patient hand shall fashion something to be read. Men often came to me and prayed I should indite a fitting verse, for fast or festival, or in some stately pageant to rehearse, as if, than Balaam more endowed, I of myself could bless or curse. Reluctantly I bade them go, ungladdened by my poet might. My heart is not so churlish but it loves to minister delight. But not a word I breathe is mine, to sing in praise of man or God. My Master calls, at noon or night, I know his whisper and his nod. Yet all my thoughts to rhythms run, to rhyme, my wisdom and my wit. True, I consume my life in verse, but wouldst thou know how that is writ? 'Tis thus, through weary length of days, I bear a thought within my breast, that greatens from my growth of soul, and waits, and will not be expressed. It greatens till its hour has come, not without pain it sees the light. Twixt smiles and tears I view it o'er, and dare not deem it perfect, quite. These children of my soul I keep, where scarce a mortal man may see, yet not unconsecrate, dear friend, baptismal rites they claim of thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Mouse's Nest by John Clare. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. I found a ball of grass among the hay and progged it as I passed and went away. And when I looked, I fancied something stirred, and I turned again and hoped to catch the bird. When out an old mouse bolted in the wheats, with all her young ones hanging on her teats. She looked so old and so grotesque to me. I ran and wondered what the thing could be, and pushed the knapweed bunches where I stood. Then the mouse hurried from the cracking brood. The young one squeaked, and as I went away, she found her nest again among the hay. The water o'er the pebbles scarce could run, and broad old cesspools glittering in the sun. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. Read for LibriVox.org by George Pilling. www.georgepilling.com. That's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I call that piece a wonder now. Fra Pandolf's hands worked busily a day, and there she stands. Will it please you sit and look at her? I said Fra Pandolf by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. But to myself they turned, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you but I, and seemed as if they would ask me, if they durst, how such a glance came there. So not the first are you to turn and ask thus. Sir, 'twas not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek. Perhaps Fra Pandolf chanced to say, her mantle laps o'er my lady's wrist too much, or paint me must never hope to reproduce the faint half-flush that dies along her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whate'er she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Sir, 'twas all one, my favour at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bough of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode round the terrace. All and each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least. She thanked men good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. Who'd stoop to blame this sort of trifling? Even if you had skill in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such an one, and say, just this or that in you disgusts me, here you miss or exceed the mark. And if she let herself be lessoned so, nor plainly set her wits to yours forsooth, and made excuse, even then would be some stooping. And I choose never to stoop. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whenever I passed her. But who passed without much the same smile? This grew. I gave commands. Then all smiles stopped together. There she stands, as if alive. Will it please you rise? We'll meet the company below then. I repeat, the Count your master's known munificence is ample warrant that no just pretence of mine for dowry will be disallowed, though his fair daughter's self, as I have vowed as starting, is my object. Nay, we'll go together down, sir. Notice Neptune, though, taming a seahorse, thought a rarity. Klaus of Innsbruck, cast in bronze, for me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information and to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Brian Farrow, Malden, Massachusetts, December 2006. Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Thou still unravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme, what leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals, or of both, in Tempe or the dales of Arcady? What men or gods are these? What maidens loath? What mad pursuit? What struggle to escape? What pipes and timbrels? What wild ecstasy? Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Therefore, ye soft pipes, play on, not to the sensual ear, but, more endeared, pipe to the spirit ditties of no tone. Fair youth, beneath the trees, thou canst not leave thy song, nor ever can those trees be bare. Bold lover, never, never canst thou kiss, though winning near the goal. Yet, do not grieve, she cannot fade, though thou hast not thy bliss, for ever wilt thou love, and she be fair. Ah, happy, happy boughs, that cannot shed your leaves, nor ever bid the spring adieu, and, happy melodist, unwearied, forever piping songs forever new. More happy love, more happy, happy love, forever warm and still to be enjoyed, forever panting and forever young, all breathing human passion far above, that leaves a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parching tongue. Who are these coming to the sacrifice? To what green altar, O mysterious priest, leadst thou that heifer, lowing at the skies, and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed? What little town, by river or seashore, or mountain built with peaceful citadel, is emptied of its folk this pious morn? And, little town, thy streets for evermore will silent be, and not a soul, to tell why thou art desolate, can e'er return. O Attic shape, fair attitude, with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and the trodden weed, thou, silent form, dost tease us out of thought as doth eternity. Cold pastoral, when old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain, in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
From Ode by Arthur William Edgar O'Shaughnessy. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake with a cold. We are the music makers, and we the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams, world losers and world forsakers, for whom the pale moon gleams. Yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. With wonderful deathless ditties we build up the world's great cities, and out of a fabulous story we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown, and three with a new song's measure can trample an empire down. We, in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth, built Nineveh with our sighing, and Babel itself with our mirth, and overthrew them with prophesying to the old of the new world's worth. For each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming to birth. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Oxen by Thomas Hardy, read for LibriVox.org by Douglas D. Anderson. Christmas Eve, and 12 of the clock. Now they are all on their knees, an elder said as we sat in a flock by the embers in the hearthside eaves. We pictured the meek, mild creatures where they dwelt in their strawy pen, nor did it occur to one of us there to doubt they were kneeling then. So fair a fancy few would weave in these years, yet I feel if someone said on Christmas Eve, "Come see the oxen kneel in the lonely barton by yonder coombe our childhood used to know. I should go with him in the gloom, hoping it might be so. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Rollicking Mastadon by Arthur Macy, recorded for LibriVox.org by Rebecca Decker, December 2006. www.wordplay.wordpress.com. The Rollicking Mastadon by Arthur Macy. A rollicking mastodon lived in Spain in the trunk of a tranquil tree. His face was plain, but his jocular vein was a burst of the wildest glee. His face was strong, and his laugh so long that people came many a mile and offered to pay a guinea a day for the fractional part of a smile. The rollicking mastodon's laugh was wide. Indeed, 'twas a matter of family pride, and oh, so proud of his jocular vein was the rollicking mastodon over in Spain. The rollicking mastodon said one day, "I feel that I need some air, for a little ozone's a tonic for bones, as well as a gloss for the hair." So he skipped along and warbled a song in his own triumphant way. His smile was bright and his skip was light as he chirruped his roundelay. The rollicking mastodon tripped along and sang what mastodons call a song, but every note of it seemed to pain the rollicking mastodon over in Spain. A little Pitucle came over the hill, dressed up in a bolitant coat, and he said, "You need some caraway seed and a little advice for your throat." The mastodon smiled and said, "My child, there's a chance for your taste to grow. If you polish your mind, you'll certainly find how little you know." The little Pitucle, his teeth he ground at the mastodon's singular sense of sound, for he felt it a sort of musical stain on the rollicking mastodon over in Spain. "Alas, and alas, has it come to this pass?" said the little Pitucle. "Dear me, it certainly seems your horrible screams intended for music must be." The mastodon stopped, his ditty he dropped, and murmured, "Good morning, my dear. I never will sing to a sensitive thing that shatters a song with a sneer." The rollicking mastodon bid him adieu. Of course 'twas a sensible thing to do, for little Pitucle is spared the strain of the rollicking mastodon over in Spain. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare, read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance of nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in the shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sympathy by Paul Laurence Dunbar, read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. I know what the caged bird feels, alas, when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind stirs soft through the springing grass, and the river flows like a stream of glass, when the first bird sings and the first bud opes, and the faint perfume from its chalice steals, I know what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats its wing till its blood is red on the cruel bars, for he must fly back to his perch and cling when he fain would be on the bough swing. And a pain still throbs in the old scars, and they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why he beats his wing. I know why the caged bird sings, ah me, when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, when he beats his bars and he would be free. It is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his heart's deep core, but a plea that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the caged bird sings. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Three Ravens by Anonymous, read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. There were three ravens sat on a tree, down, hey, down, hey, down. There were three ravens sat on a tree with a down. There were three ravens sat on a tree. They were as black as they might be, with a down, derry, down, down. The one of them said to his mate, down, hey, down. Where shall we our breakfast take? With a down, derry, down, down. Down in yonder green fields, down, hey, down. There lies a knecht slain under his shield, with a down, derry, down. His hounds they lie down at his feet, down, hey, down. So well they can their master keep, with a down, derry, down. His hawkers they fly so eagerly, down, hey, down. There's no fowl dare him come nigh, with a down, derry, down. Down there comes a fallow doe, down, hey, down. As great with young as she might go, with a down, derry, down. She lifted up his bloody head, down, hey, down, and kissed his wounds that were so red, with a down, derry, down. She got him up upon her back, down, hey, down, and carried him to the earthen lock, with a down, derry, down. She buried him before the prime, down, hey, down. She was dead herself ere even song team, with a down, derry, down. God send every gentleman such hawks, such hounds, and such a leman, with a down, derry, down. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To the Virgins to Make Much of Time by Robert Herrick. Read for LibriVox.org by Kristen Hughes. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old Time is still a-flying, and this same flower that smiles to-day, to-morrow will be dying. The glorious lamp of heaven, the sun, the higher he's a-getting, the sooner will his race be run, and nearer he's to setting. That age is best which is the first, when youth and blood are warmer, but being spent, the worse and worst times still succeed the former. Then be not coy, but use your time, and while ye may, go merry, for having lost but once your prime, you may for ever tarry. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, a visit from St. Nicholas, by Clement C. Moore. Read for LibriVox.org by Reynard T. Fox.
'Twas the night before Christmas, a visit from St. Nicholas, by Clement C. Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma, in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed, see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the lustre of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder, on Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from head to foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry, his droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Witch by Mary Coleridge. Read for LibriVox.org by Alison Rove. I have walked a great while over the snow, and I am not tall nor strong. My clothes are wet, and my teeth are set, and the way was hard and long. I have wandered over the fruitful earth, but I never came here before. Oh, lift me over the threshold, and let me in at the door. The cutting wind is a cruel foe, I dare not stand in the blast. My hands are stone, and my voice a groan, and the worst of death is past. I am but a little maiden still, my little white feet are sore. Oh, lift me over the threshold, and let me in at the door. Her voice was the voice that women have who plead for their heart's desire. She came, and the quivering flame sank and died in the fire. It never was lit again in my hearth since I hurried across the floor to lift her over the threshold and let her in at the door. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.